Well, that anthology idea didn't pan out very well. Back to Michael, I guess. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, was released in 1988, directed by Dwight H. Little, starring Donald Pleasance, Ellie Cornell, and Danielle Harris. And yeah, like I said, the whole anthology idea John Carpenter was going for in Halloween 3 didn't sit well with audiences, unfortunately, so they decided to resurrect the Michael Myers character. So let's go ahead and get into this movie, starting with the good. And I do enjoy this movie for what it is. First of all, Donald Pleasance obviously is great in this movie. He just gets better in his performance with each movie, it feels like, in this franchise. I really love the way he plays the character. It's really dumb how he's still alive, because he was at ground zero of the explosion in Halloween 2, which is still canon in this timeline. But either way, it was just great to see him back, even though it's very implausible that he's only back with a couple burn scars, but whatever. I really like him, and I like the way he plays the character. He's far more paranoid in this movie than in the first two, and Donald Pleasance plays it very well. Danielle Harris is in this movie as Jamie Lloyd, Michael's niece, Laurie's daughter, and Laurie is not in this movie. She's presumed deceased in this specific timeline of the Halloween franchise, and Michael's after her now, and I really like her as well. Danielle Harris is a great actress, and she's just gotten better with each movie that she's done. I really liked the scared little girl aspect that she brought to the character. She portrayed it very well. Then you have the character of Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell, and this is one of the most underrated leading girls in this franchise. I really liked the way she played this character, this girl who's watching after Jamie. I just really liked her, and I wish that they did more with her in the sequel, which we will definitely get to later down the road in the next review. But I just really liked her. I thought she's one of the most underrated final girls of this franchise. And of course, Michael Myers is back in this movie, and I really love him in this movie as well. He's very badass, like he always is, or at least most of the time. I really enjoyed the more methodical takedown of Haddonfield in this movie, where he takes out the power grid and feeds off their paranoia. And I just really love the kills in this movie. There's some great kills, especially in the third act when they barricade the house and Michael somehow gets in and he just starts picking everybody off very methodically. It's just a lot of fun, that entire sequence. And also, I just really love there's this whole subplot where the people of Haddonfield form a mob to try and take down Michael Myers, which is another thing that comes back in a later movie in this franchise. Done not as well, but I still enjoyed it there. I'll get to that later though. I really enjoyed the whole thing of vigilante justice and is it right to go after someone with a mob, and when should we do that, if at all. I just really enjoyed that whole aspect of the film. And also, the end of the third act is really good, where Michael Myers gets gunned down. Obviously doesn't die because they made more movies after this, even though this was supposed to be the last movie in the franchise. But either way, I also really love the ending of this movie. It's probably one of the greatest endings in horror history, where Jamie snaps and kills her mother, presumably kills her mother. They retcon that in the next movie, which we'll get to. And just Dr. Loomis's scream as he sees her standing at the top of the stairs with a bloody pair of scissors just staring at him. It's very haunting. It's very visceral. I just really love that scene. And obviously the score is great. They have a more traditional version of the Halloween theme in this movie than in Halloween 2. I just really love the traditional take on the Halloween theme, and the opening scene is actually very spooky, very creepy. It's got a great atmosphere where it's just panning around this quiet town, and, you know, Michael's lurking somewhere. It really feeds on the paranoia that Michael Myers instills in the audiences of these movies. And that's about all for the good. Let's go ahead on to the bad, and there's a couple things I wasn't a fan of. First of all, Michael's mask in this movie doesn't do it for me. I think it's a little way too pale. I get that it was bought at a convenience store or whatever, but in the first movie he stole his mask from a hardware store. But it just doesn't do it for me with this mask. And then the third act goes on a little bit too long. After the house scene, they drag it on a little bit longer than I would have enjoyed. But that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I do enjoy Halloween 4. It's not a masterpiece like the first one, and I like 2 and 3 better than it as well. But I still really had fun with this movie. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, is not one of the best in the franchise, but it's still a fun movie with great kills, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So that was my review for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow for my review for Halloween 5.